Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be talking about how you can secure a paid position like an RA, research assistant position, teaching assistant position, or a grader reader position at your university. Main thing that I'm talking about here is going to be how to approach professors and what to write in the email, how to stand out from other applicants, and yeah, so I'm going to talk about all of that in this video. Now I don't need to tell you why you need such a position, because a very good advantage is that you get paid, and some these positions might even cover your education fees for a particular semester. So it's very well good to obtain these positions, and most of you guys are going to come in the month of August or September to US and starting your education. So I thought I should make this video right now, because if you can prepare for this beforehand, then it will be very good for you. So one more thing, I will be only covering about the grader and the teaching assistant position. Research assistant positions, whatever tips and tricks that I gave you for these two positions can also be applied for research assistant positions. First of all, going to your department's course catalog page and seeing what all courses the department offers. Okay, now once you have seen that, you can read the description and to know which particular course interests you more and you are good at. So once you have made a list of whatever once you have filtered out all the courses, whatever you have done in your undergrad and you have gotten a very good GPA, or a good grade, or you are very interested to be a grader or a teaching assistant for that position, then you need to find what professors are actually teaching, going to teach this particular course in the next semester. Okay, now it's like when to approach. Okay, that is the also a key factor. Okay, so let's say for example, if if I want to apply to a position that is in the third semester, so I want to be a teaching assistant in the third semester for a particular subject, then I need to start reaching out to professors as soon once I start with my second semester. So maybe after 1 or 2 weeks in the after the second semester has started, I should start reaching out to professors for the third semester itself. Okay, so I think that is what is the key moment, that you need to start reaching out to professors. They might not give you a direct yes, okay, even if you are selected, because usually I think that happens just before 1 or 2 weeks before the third semester is going to start. So you might get a guarantee only at that point, but yeah, you can at least reach out to the professors and start creating your rapport with the professor, because that is also a lot important. Okay, now how to approach professors. Okay, now I think there are two ways to approach professors. First is by visiting their office and talking to them, and or other the way is sending out an email to them. Okay, so what I think is better is that first you send an email to them, because there could be a possibility that the professor has already selected a person for that position, so that position is not vacant, or that position is already been occupied by some other person. So they can they might just reply you within a day or 2 days that this position has already been taken, so we are not really looking for any other student to work on this. So you might, and so you don't waste your time for that position. Another good thing about sending an email is that you can properly write your experience and how you are relevant to this particular role, for a grader or a teaching assistant role. And so I think that is what you can write in your email, that how you stand out from other applicants, rather than explaining it in person, because you might leave out some points, but in email you can just recheck, and if you have written those pointers or not. Okay, so I think that is one more benefit of writing an email. Yeah, a lot of students might face this, that as professors get a lot of these emails, one professor a professor might not reply to all those emails. So wait for 1 week. If you don't get a reply, then I think you should approach them in person. What is it's regarding, right? It's regarding a grader position or teaching assistant position. So now another thing is what to actually write in the email. Okay, I'll give you a sample email that that you can use. This is for a grader position. You can feel free to pause the video to take a screenshot of this email, or I'll leave a link in the description of this video, so you can check out that email content from there as well. One of the key factors that what I think if you will get a greater job in under a particular course or not is that, if you have done that subject, if you have done good in their subject, like maybe got an A or an A plus, they will see that you have done good, so you will do a good job as a grader as well. Now I was a grader, that is why I was able to give you all this advice, but I have not been a teaching assistant, so I don't think I'm the right person to answer what will be good in the teaching assistant, how you can get a teaching assistant job. Okay guys, so I have Surya with me, and he was the TA last semester, so you will be able to tell you what you can write in your email, or how you can stand out.
When we approach professors, we need to ensure that our interest lies in their special subject area. And as a master's student, the probability of getting a graduate subject is pretty low. So I'd recommend trying for the undergraduate subjects which you had already taken in the course of your undergraduate study, and probably have a good grade to support it. Along with, if at all you do take the an advanced level of course. Suppose if you're taking CS 218 and you did end up getting a really good grade, so that will help you choose CS 141, and maybe that might influence the professor on your decision whether he should accept you or not. So always completing the undergraduate subject that is required for it, as part of your undergraduate study or your graduate study or an advanced level of course. If at all you do have some project experience, it's going to matter. It's definitely going to matter. So I'd recommend that, and I also recommend having good grades in the subject, because grades kind of demonstrate what your quality of output was.
Right.
So that's one thing. And choosing the professors, when it comes to choosing the professors, you need to choose the ones that teach the subject that you like or that you are interested in, more specifically. So when you choose such subjects, you tend to be naturally interested in it, and even if the coursework is somewhat difficult, you can still, because of the interest, you will not feel it, and also you might have done well in the past, and probably that's why you like it. So these are a couple of reasons I really think of.
Okay. So you were talking about this for what master students, what can undergraduate people can do, students can do. Like if they don't have the coursework, what they can do to show that they are capable of doing the getting a TA, like they will do a good job. So what they can write that.
For undergraduate students, again, they should have done the subject earlier in their planned coursework. So that's, I think, a preliminary requirement by the department. Most departments, at least. The departments require you to show some form of expertise in that particular subject. So even if you didn't have the opportunity to take it, but then this makes their chances less. You can probably demonstrate it with your work experience or project experience. That's something. And the main thing I would recommend is to build a personal rapport with the professor that you would like to work with. So whenever as a student, whenever I did request a professor for a TA, I really did not pitch it like a request, that asking him for help. Rather try to see where you can help the professor. So most professors have a special area of research or teaching, where you can probably contribute or deliver some value, and in return you can of course ask for being a teaching assistant, and I think that really works. That's how most human relationships work. So I believe that when you offer to do something in exchange for being a TA, of course it doesn't work so directly. I'm just saying that you deliver some value and then you ask for a teaching assistant. It makes more sense for the professor to help you out with it. Because again, it is a personal decision which most professors make to whether choose a student for the teaching assistant or not. But it's most likely controlled by departments.
What do you think stand out, what you did to stand out from other applicants?
So I did have teaching experience in the past. I've taught over 100 students. I had my own tutoring center. And this was the central idea around which I approached the professors. I did emphasize on that, I had some sort of experience in the past teaching students. Now you might not have the same experience I did, but if at all you definitely help friends or help teach friends before your exam, I think you should probably mention this. You should build emphasis around that, saying that before exams you taught others, and you probably help them get better marks or something like that. If any sort of teaching experience is better than no teaching experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, like you understood, right? Like how a lot of it depends on how you frame the sentence, like experience. So you might not have the exact relevant experience, but you could have a similar kind of experience. So you can construct it like that in your email to make it like show the professor that you have done this in the past, or you have some sort of experience with this in the past. So to maybe stand out from other applicants, maybe they are not mentioning this, but if you are mentioning it, as professor really thinks yeah, this kind of experience would matter actually. So yeah, that is one thing. Yeah, anything else you want to share with the audience, like how, what else they can do?
So yeah, when it comes to writing emails, try to offer something in value rather than asking to be the TA.
Okay.
Because you cannot ask a stranger for help and expect them to help you.
Right.
And just say him with professors. So you rather try to find a problem statement, or try to find what projects the professor is working on, and try to deliver value to the professor. And again, there might be opportunities where the professor might not be able to help you. They might offer you some free positions. Now this is a decision you should personally take, because if it is a project that the professor is expecting you to work for free and has no prospects for teaching assistant, depending on whether the project is interesting or not, it's a personal choice.
Right.
So but just be careful about that. So sometimes you might get into cases where you might not really have any monetary benefits or a job offer, but the project might be a really cool project to work on. So it's again a personal choice. So try to deliver value, and then request for teaching assistant job or any sort of request. And when you're sending emails, try to emphasize on your past experiences that are relevant, even though it could not be a strict requirement. It could be something informal. It's better to include it in the email. Try to write cold emails. Do not write a standard template email. Most likely a professor is not going to read your email, and even if read, they might not respond to your email. So the emails need to be really cold, really unique, and really different. That's something that worked for me and probably will work for you as well. So apart from that, something that might really work is along with this, you can mention that you have a monetary need to work. You really need the financial support.
Right.
But again, this can make things hit or miss.
Right.
Because they are not in a serious position to kind of offer, they're not compelled to give a job. So
Right.
it's a hit or miss. So.
Right. One thing I think, like I was discussing with him, was like if you really want a TA job, you could actually, what you could do is actually you can search for positions where students are not actually applying to that. Maybe it could be because that subject is not common, or that subject is very hard to teach. So maybe a lot of less students will apply for a teaching assistant for that particular course. So I don't know, like what course would that be in your particular university, whichever you're planning to attend. But maybe you can ask your seniors about if they know about these kind of courses that you could apply and you can get a teaching assistant. I mean, like it will be difficult to handle all the things for that particular course, but maybe there will be less competition, maybe.
Yeah, again, but when you take such paths, there might be things that might backfire on you.
Yeah.
So the professor might not be happy, or if the professor realizes that you're not good with the coursework, you do not have strong command, he's definitely going to put in a word to the department. So these are the things you need to make a calculated risk upon.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course you can. These are obviously the subjects that are more difficult to teach. Are the less chosen ones as priority for teaching assistants, because most PhD students want to take the easier courses, because most of them at least want to focus on solid research rather than teaching, at least in research-based universities. So the tougher subjects that require like more amount of hours being put into for the teaching assistantship, the less number of PhD students will probably take it.
Yeah. So you'll have to keep everything in mind before, it's not about just getting the TA. You have to do a good job if you want to, get the refer from the professor that you did a TA under. So make sure that you know the course well before taking a teaching assistant job. Yeah, so I think that is it for this video. Do you have anything in mind, like what we should not do to hurt our chances of getting a TA? Like you should completely avoid that, or you should not do this? that will create a negative remark on your application?
Do not be too pushy with professors, or do not make them feel that they're being followed around. Do not feel something that do not do something that they might not expect. Just randomly walking into office and constantly bothering them. That's something I see that professors get really annoyed with. So if they do not reply, maybe send 1 or 2 follow-up emails and just move on with your life. Do not be too pushy with it. That's one thing. And of course, you need to maintain a good standing, good academic standing. Do not get caught cheating. Do not do plagiarism. Really be in a really good academic standing and have good grades. These are absolute essentials in case you want to be a teaching assistant. You cannot let the department know that you have done something bad in the past and things get wrong. So that's something very important. You need to be careful with.
Right. Yeah. I think one more thing that I want to emphasize is this is our way of viewing it. So this might not hold true for your situation or something. That's what I want to put it like that. Like this is what we think is the best way to go. Like to put do reach out to professors or do write this kind of emails. So this is according to us. Okay. So I'll not say that this was in a like sort of 100% guarantee that if you follow all our advice you will get a TA position, but it's like just like a way like you can do about this. Just one way of looking at it.
Yes. And for one more disclaimer is that for TA positions are in general for PhD students. Only when there is a slight demand, as in the PhD students choose to do research rather than teaching, a small number of roles get opened up for master's students and undergraduate students, and it's really competitive. Every student that you know of would be approaching the professor the same way you do. So just focus on standing out. Try to do more networking, try to build rapport, and try to understand where you can deliver value before you can ask for any help.
Sure. So that wraps up this video. If you have any other questions and you want us to make a part 2 of this video, you can leave the comments if you want us to answer any specific questions in the next part of this video. That's it. If you want to reach out and connect with me on Instagram, this is my Instagram ID. You can privately chat with me out there. And thank you guys for watching. And I also want to thank Surya for giving this informational content. And thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.